Racer family, we are here with family Jonathan Applegate, man who is taking the baton here, Mazda Motorsports, doing great things with it in modern terms, but even better, should I say, with the Heritage Collection, a vital part almost every year here, the Rolex Monterey Motorsports Reunion, celebrating the 50th. These beautiful Wankel rotary-powered cars, fan favorites, been dedicated to this event for a long time. We're going to speak to this young man here, a champion within the Mazda racing stable, MX-5 Cup Series, Jared Thomas. We're going to start with Jonathan, though. Tell us about Mazda's heart and passion to be here. Not many manufacturers say, we're going to be here in Monterey for this reunion year after year to show folks these cars. Why do you do that?
Yeah, really good question, and one that we hold near and dear to our heart. It's obviously here at the racetrack, our spiritual home. Other names for it now, but have been Mazda Raceway still to us, and have been here for many decades. And the cars may not have changed much, but we have certainly done so much to these cars. Fliss Performance and the group, I'm so proud of what they've done. Maybe talk a little bit about that, but the ability for us to be here at our spiritual home, and for us with these cars to be in front of our fans. You know, our whole brand platform right now is just getting in front of our fans and enriching those that we serve. Our fans are who we serve, our racers, our passionate enthusiasts. So to be here at this event is special, but to be here at the racetrack and somewhere where we've been for many, many years over and over it's super, super exciting.
One of the great things that Jonathan and his team have greenlit, not only moving to Troy Fliss and the family there at Fliss Performance, wonderful long-term sports car entrance between building MX-5 Cup cars, but also entrusting them to take these priceless pieces of Mazda's heritage and restore them. They've been in great shape, but with time, you want to make sure everything gets freshened. Tell folks about that, because it's not inexpensive. You got to be committed to do this to pull the trigger.
Yeah, and that's just it. Is we've had fantastic people over the years that have put time, energy, and resources into these gems of our cars, and they've done great with them. We've been on the racetrack, we've showcased these to our fans for many years, but never to a point where we've had constant application. And as the years go on and these cars get older, parts become obsolete, no spare packages, you have to pour that tender loving care into these cars. And the group with Fliss Performance and others that have been around the rotaries forever. We have Dave Haskell, a guy who's been on the RX-7s, driven in them, and now working with them, and now RX-8 program. Taz Harvey with us with his RX-8 out on the racetrack this weekend. Ed Semps, like just a lot of guys who are the masters in their space as it relates to the rotaries and our race cars that have poured so much devoted time into these. For example, the 792 behind us, just talking to Ed, every single wire on this car has been replaced to make sure that it is race ready at all times. So the amount of time that has been poured into these is just undescribable. I'm so proud and happy just to be here. Seeing these things on track is just a true beauty.
And if you know anything about historic racing, you know it's usually the wires that cause the problems more than anything. So that was a perfect call. A really exciting addition to what Mazda has done with its Heritage Collection. Instead of saying we're going to show up at these cool vintage events, show up at a lot of HSR events, fans love them, come running out, everybody gets their their phones out to record when they're being warmed up. But you've said, this is the past, we're going to continue honoring it and showing it. How do we link that to the present with the MX-5 Cup Series? Hey, there's a champion standing right next to us. Tell us quickly about the decision to bring Jared in, have him drive one of the cars, and really get more use, show more talent here in a cool environment with young up-and-comer like him.
Yeah, Jared's special, as we know, two-time champion with MX-5 Cup, and we're always trying to find ways to connect the dots between our past, our heritage, and our present. Never stop challenging is a coined phrase of ours, and we're always looking to do that with our historic program, but that's not just rested there. In MX-5 Cup, we find ways to constantly move the needle. Again, Fliss Performance building our cars there and doing wonderful things, but the talent is one that I think is sometimes glanced over in terms of the larger opportunities with GTP and the programs that you see that sometimes take the cake with broadcast and TV and all things. But when we look at a guy like Jared Thomas, he could drive anything. So for us to see him with us and give him an opportunity, that knowing he's going to be with us hopefully a little bit longer, right, Jared? But to give him these opportunities to get in the car and just showcase, here's some of the opportunities and benefits that you get when you're an MX-5 Cup driver. And for him to see him in this car, and then next week at VIR to get into an MX-5 Cup car, we're bridging that gap pretty wonderfully.
Jared, you have mastered 185 raging Mazda horsepowers in your MX-5 Cup car. Lots of momentum, lots of very precise work. Tell me about getting into, I don't know, a GTO car with 500 plus prototypes, bigger, much bigger number than that. The equivalent of about 2 or 3 or 4 of the motors you usually race with. Tell me about the adaptation. This has to be fun.
Oh, it's amazing. These cars are so visceral. I think in today's world, we lose a little bit of how different the cars were back in the day. These being rotaries are just amazing. The sound, the vibration, how fast they rev. It's definitely been an adjustment for me. And they're just raw. These were the heyday of, IMSA racing in the early 90s. No traction control, no ABS, none of that. So, everything has a feel, and the gearboxes are different. It's just been amazing. I woke up like a kid on Christmas to come out here and do this.
Let's close on this. So with what Jonathan and his team have implemented, this to me would be something where those trying to be the next you and pursue you might realize I can win that MX-5 Cup championship, have great things for the future in professional racing. Getting to come here is a pretty big carrot as well, right?
Oh, most definitely. When they gave me the call a handful of months ago, I was starstruck. Yeah. I'm like, that's awesome, because these are the cars, as a kid growing up on Gran Turismo and the pictures, you see these cars and you're like, it's a dream come true. I mean, you there's not very many of them. So to actually get the opportunity is a great deal. And, hopefully this starts the trend and more people get the opportunity like I did.
We call him Jonathan Applegate, but I think as Jared's just told us, we're going to call him Santa Claus as well. Thanks for doing some great stuff with this program, extending the reach so much farther.